What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life. This is a way of life.
Hey, Ballbusters, Bates here, your friend and mine, Ray Mungus, ready to go to hell on episode 7 of Way of Life Live. How you doing, man? You there?
I'm here. Doing pretty good. Awake, I guess.
I would hope so. I mean, you are,
I'm a creature of the night.
You are the vampire of the group.
Exactly. I mean, I could sleep for about a week the way I've been feeling lately, but, doing all right tonight. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad, I guess. Not too bad. It's been a pretty good week, aside from the miserable 75 minutes I had to endure last night, but we'll get into that.
75 minutes. 75 minutes too long.
Yes.
Only a handful of movies that I could say that about.
Did you happen to read through the review we're talking about?
Oh, yeah. I have it up right now, actually.
All right. Well, it's been an eventful week, and we're actually gonna hit the ground running with some breaking news, and by breaking I mean as of 25 minutes ago. So we got our announcement of our headlining guest for March's Monster Mania, and it is none other than the master of horror himself, John Carpenter. He will be in attendance for Monster Mania in March to help celebrate the 40th anniversary of Halloween.
40 years, man. That's insane.
1978. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I think he was at a Monster Mania years ago. I've been to so many that they all just kind of blur at this point.
Yeah, it's really crazy how many we've been through over the years, and like I see that this Monster Mania coming up, the one that we're speaking of, which is March 9th to the 11th, is Monster Mania 39, and they have 2 or 3 a year, and I've been attending since Monster Mania 2, so it just goes to show you how long we've been doing this.
Yeah, I think I joined in at 5 or 6.
Yeah. It's easily the best convention on the East Coast. Like I want to say that Rock and Shock is very close, but for some of the guests that Dave pulls, it's you can't really compare.
No, not at all. And I mean, we got some other guest announcements earlier in the week. We got some more on Monday. We got the girl who played Max in season 2 of Stranger Things. What was her name?
Sadie Sink?
Sadie Sink, yeah. So she's going to be in attendance. We also got the actor who played Bill in the new It movie. So that rounds out, 4 of the kids from It are going to be there.
I think we're just missing Beverly now, which I'm sure they're going to announce sooner or later.
Well, you forgot Stan, dude. We're not getting Stan.
Stan's there.
No, Stan's not there.
Oh, you're talking about Eddie. Stan's there. Eddie, we don't have yet as well. That's Finn Wolfhard.
Oh. Why did I think he was Stan?
I don't know.
No, that's Richie.
Richie. God, we're terrible. We're not getting Eddie either.
I'm like, wait a second. I'm wrong, but you're not right either.
Alright, so anybody that's listening, you could totally take our horror cards for like a week. Like, word punishment.
I'm like, wait a second. I'm talking about the comedian of the group. Then I'm like, I remember the beep Richie, and I'm like, oh, it's Richie. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and the worst part is not only do I love the remake, but I've been a huge fan of not only the book, but also the original miniseries. So, like, I should know these names, but like the back of my hand, but not tonight.
So, yes. John Carpenter, I'm sure there's going to be a panel He'll probably be the headlining panel of Saturday night.
You want to hear my speculation real quick? They have done this before. Monster Mania has had some shows with musicians, so I'm hoping that maybe they could get a John Carpenter to rock out a little bit and perform some of his music at the show.
That would be
maybe that's asking a little much, but I would love it personally.
That would be pretty cool. So I mean, as long as everything goes right and nobody busts our balls there, I'll be recording whatever he's doing, and I'll record from my camera, and if I can, I'll also live stream up right here from my phone. Obviously, that won't be the best quality, but at least you guys can enjoy and kind of see what we're seeing, and then the good quality stuff will be up later. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, we're going to be putting in work at this convention. I'm pretty much looking forward to going, like as I normally do as a fan, but it's going to be interesting to see it from a perspective of let's write about stuff regarding it. Let's film stuff. Let's create content based off of the thing that we've loved and have been doing for so many years. So it's going to be a different way to look at something that we've done constantly.
Yeah, definitely. We're probably going to be viewing the entire convention a little bit differently than we normally do.
As long as we don't feel like we did after Comic-Con, New York City Comic-Con, I'm happy.
Yeah, well, I mean, miserable and just wanting to kill any living thing that we saw.
I think that was one of the first times that we both got snippy with each other. I've known you for at least 10 years, maybe more. And I think we were very close to getting on each other's nerves that day.
Well, you know what it was? We were both so miserable, so tired, and hungry. and then I remember... What?
God. No, I was going to say the Uber driver outside.
Oh, my God.
Us to walk like 3 blocks up because he didn't want to go anywhere near the Javits Center. And I'm getting pissed off at him. I'm getting pissed off at you. I'm cursing Stan Lee to hell.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck you. I'm hungry and tired. I'm going home to eat and go to sleep. You can find your own ride home. I was so...
Yeah, dude, it was bad. I think we didn't talk the rest of that day. Maybe like a day or two later, and then after that we normaled out.
I think what it was is we both wanted to go to the Gray Matter art booth, which we did. And we picked something up there, or you picked something up there.
Yeah, I bought Tom Whalen's Guardians of the Galaxy print.
Yeah, and then I wanted to go to 1 or 2 other booths really quick, maybe like the Namco Bandai booth, and maybe like the Capcom booth or something.
You wanted to go to what's the company that puts out Final Fantasy?
Oh, Square Enix.
Square Enix, and I think that's where I lost my patience. like you wanted to pick up some download code or something along those lines, and I'm just like,
no. That was for Marvel Puzzle Quest. They were giving away characters.
Okay, that's right.
They were giving away a free cover, a free character cover for in game. But then we got over there, and you find out that all this other shit had to take place, and I was like, oh my god, screw this. And then at that point, we were just like, all right, let us leave before we blow this place up.
And the worst part about it was we accomplished our mutual goal of meeting Stanley, which was fantastic. But my next goal was to meet Rob Liefeld, who created Deadpool. I had my Deadpool statue in your bag, wrapped to holy hell so it wouldn't break. And after that long line we endured meeting Stan, I was just straight up so miserable that I was like, you know what, Rob, I'll meet you another day. And then having to go through the actual show floor to the vending rooms and try to find what aisle the ones we wanted to go to were in and all that, it was a nightmare. I mean, there's no better way to put it.
All right, so obviously, for anyone who's never been to the Javits Center, I'm sure that's anybody watching. Because unless you live in, the East Coast, you're not going to go to the Javits. Unless you live in the tri-state area, you're not going to the Javits Center. So obviously, the Comic-Con has a ton of booths. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of booths, and they'll give you a map. Well, trying to decipher this map and trying to figure out where the hell you are, it was like mouth deciphering the map for fucking the Goonies. It might as well have been written in Spanish and Chinese and Greek because there was no rhyme or reason to anything. I don't have anything against cosplay. Right? I think a lot of cosplay is. I think it's cool. People enjoy it. Whatever. It ain't my thing. You guys like it? Go for it. In a convention that fucking big with that many people and that jammed of a show floor, you can dress up. I don't care, but don't dress up in anything that's oversized, and don't bring some stupid giant foam weapon, because I'm going to take it, break it, and throw it at you. I can't.
Don't have a door on your back either. That was the guy that I kept running into who was cosplaying as Hodor.
Oh my god, he was blocking the entire aisle.
Yeah, like heaven forbid he was trying to get onto an escalator, like he had to go up sideways. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so, I mean, cosplay all you want, just keep the oversized shit out of Comic-Con. At least New York Comic-Con. I don't know how much better San Diego is, but New York, just don't fucking do it. Well, I don't even care, because I'm never going again, so fucking have at it, man. Fucking dress up as a full-scale Godzilla for all I care. I don't.
My biggest pet peeve for Comic-Con was the, when you're walking in a line, you have a destination in mind. And me, I'm the type of dude that, analyzes the map. Point A, that's where I am. Point B is where I have to go, and I zip right through everybody. Now, when I have to crash into multiple people stopping to tweet or take selfies in the middle of a fucking aisle, that's where I draw the line. And I have no problem with it. But, when you're just sitting there in a mass of shuffling zombies trying to get where you gotta go and back, have a little courtesy, or self-awareness. Look around and see that you're not the only person that exists, and move out of the damn way.
Yeah, it's people got tunnel vision when they're at these fucking shows, and I mean sometimes we do too when we're at Monster Mania. But if maybe we'll get a little starstruck if somebody's walking by us, or if fucking what's his name? Oh my god, I can't believe his name just slipped my mind.
Gary Busey?
Gary Busey. if fucking, if you're hanging out in the lobby and all of a sudden Gary Busey comes down in bunny slippers and a bathrobe, picking up coffee and then spilling it all over himself, you're gonna be fucking starstruck and amazed and kind of happy to see that the Gary Busey you hear about is fucking true to life. Yeah,
that's definitely a true story. No lie. You're going to hear about it on one of our convention episodes coming up soon.
Yeah, I really want to do it sooner than later before we end up forgetting stories and stuff.
Senility is setting in already, so...
But
I forget your name, honestly.
But we have some really good stories. More than one of them actually has to do with Gary Busey.
A bunch of them have to do with chicken wings.
Yes.
And King Willie.
King Willie from Predator 2.
And a giant tree in an elevator that people were taking selfies with. Back before selfies were even a thing.
And a 3 a.m. barging into our room with claims of killing someone.
We're just going to leave it at that.
Almost getting booted out of the hotel by Dr. Johnny Fever. There's a lot of good stories from over the years, man.
And of course, my favorite and one that's still reoccurring, our good friend Black Richie.
Yes.
Who is I need to find out his actual name. I just took a selfie with him last time, which was great. But he has been a staple of the Monster Mania conventions, and he's one of our favorite dudes to run into down there.
Yeah, definitely. I thought you were going to say our stalking of Danielle Harris.
Well, I mean, that's my favorite pastime. Danielle Harris is not always there, unfortunately. And hold on, let me just add a postscript to that. We don't actually stalk Danielle Harris because she has had plenty of stalkers. We're not those people. We just like Danielle Harris. That's it.
We just admire from a
creepy distance.
I was about to say uncomfortably close distance, but she's behind a table and usually has a bouncer, so it's all good. She's safe.
Yeah, and generally we pay money to get an autograph.
Yeah, we're harmless, unless I'm insulting her while you're getting an autograph.
or you're insulting me and embarrassing me in front of her. But let's not talk about that.
Yeah, we'll save that. That's a good one too. All right.
You wait till Angela Bettis is back, man. You are so done.
Oh, dude, I don't care. I don't care. You can say what you want, man. I'll turn into a mushy little mess.
I will. I'm going to, keep this particular episode just as proof. So when I do say it, it'll be justified.
Sure.
So.
All right. So let's move on. So that was the big breaking news for tonight. John Carpenter added to Monster Mania. So
you're in traveling distance, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia especially. Go to Monster Mania. I think it's March 8th to the 11th, something like that.
Yep. Luckily, I got rooms before they were all booked up. I don't think I will be able to make it to August, but if all goes well, we should be doing the September Hunts Valley, Maryland one, which we've never done before.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good time. I always wanted to check out the ones that they do outside of Cherry Hill, just because it's a different vibe, a different situation. We've been doing this one for so many years. It'd be nice to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they only do it in Cherry Hill and Hunts Valley. They do Cherry Hill twice a year, Hunts Valley once a year, and they did Hartford, Connecticut once, which I actually got to go to. Robert Englund was
not going.
Yeah, Robert Englund was the headliner at that one, and me and our buddy Chris went. And I think Richie went. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I think he had his own room.
Not a shock.
No.
It's better that way.
Yes, that it is. So, there we go there. So, the next bit of news from the last week is George Romero's son has apparently going to be making Rise of the Dead, which is a Night of the Living Dead prequel. I believe we got some first casting news and a little bit into the story. We also got some cool, like a cool one sheet. Cool like teaser one sheet, which is really, really nice. It's very classic, very simple but effective. I think it looks amazing. And for the most part, I am pretty much on board with this.
Yeah, same here. Looking at the post that Cameron Romero makes, like talking about it, like you could tell that this is like the best way to his father that he'll ever have. Like from what I've read, him and his dad weren't very close over the years, and it's just because of the type of people the two of them were when with George being who he is, and his son being raised in that shadow. But they had this mutual respect for one another, and I think this is the absolute best way for Cameron to kind of get closure after George's passing. And it seems like his head is in a good place when it comes to this type of story. And from what I've read in one of his blog posts, George Romero called the script genius. And
yes.
I'm very excited to see what direction it's going to go, because obviously to impress George Romero, who has had such a storied career and tremendously strong writing over the years, like you got to really do something special to impress him that much. So, and I realize that he's his kid and all, but I don't think Romero would lie about something like that.
No, not at all. That's not his style. Never was his style. Due to saying something is genius, and maybe playing up a little bit because it's his son, but I think he would still be critical even of his son.
Agreed. For everything he's been through, with his commentary on the world around him and everything, and even in his later films, like Diary of the Dead and Survival of the Dead, may not be the shining examples of George Romero's career, but he still had something special to say, and I think he would very much so recognize that in Cameron's work. So I think that's where that's coming from.
Yep. So something I'm kind of looking forward to, because we do have a little synopsis here, and I kind of have a hope in this synopsis, and I haven't even told you about it. So I'm just gonna read the synopsis for everybody. So Origins takes place in the turmoil of the 1960s to shortly before Night of the Living Dead, and explains how the original Romero zombie was created. In 1962, Dr. Ryan Cartwright was on the scientific and altruistic path to find a way for humans to sustain life in the event of a MAD, a mutual assured destruction, a huge topic brought on by the Cuban Missile Crisis. Little did he know that over the course of the next several years of his life, he would take a well-funded and military-focused journey to the darkest corners of the world, as he creates the ultimate weapon for the government and a curse that will plague mankind for the rest of days. Now, I like it. It's simple. It's cliche, but simple. Obviously, this is very similar to House of the Dead and Resident Evil, and any good zombie movie honestly starts this way. It's but what makes this franchise a little bit different and a little bit more special, aside from being the original zombie franchise, is that they're actually going with the military-focused, possible, bioweapon, some type of serum or whatever. It's obviously something man-made by the military. Now, my hope, and it kind of makes sense now, but my hope for this movie is that they actually tie it in to Return of the Living Dead and introduce trioxin into the actual Dead franchise.
That'd be interesting, especially seeing as was it John Russo took the Of the Living Dead name and split off with Return of the Living Dead. So it'd be nice to bring that film into the canon, even though it's a little slapsticky and fun and everything. It'd be cool to have that connection. Yeah,
I'm not sure how exactly they could explain the zombies in the Return series, but I mean, obviously the first Return of the Living Dead, makes notes and references to Night of the Living Dead. So it would be kind of a fun way to tie up the universes and wrap everything in a not so neat bow. But I think fans would eat it up, and it kind of would make sense in my eyes. It may not work for everybody, but it's just something I kind of dig.
Even if it's just a little Easter egg, I think that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, maybe like the first batch of whatever they're creating was called trioxin, and then the final batch that created the zombies is called something else. That would be enough for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe. Okay, so you know what? I just thought of a way it can actually work. So maybe the first batch is trioxin, but they're actually creating these zombies that couldn't be killed and that are self-aware and that they're too smart for their own good. And the military doesn't want that. So they scrap trioxin, and they had a couple batches already made. And so those containers get shipped off, and then there we go. That's how we get the Return of the Living Dead zombies. But the Night zombies, the real Romero zombies, are the final product of the original trioxin formula. How's that?
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. So I mean, it'd be definitely fun as a fan of both series.
It makes sense. It'll work, and it'll explain why there's two different zombies in the same universe. I honestly can't think of another way. I mean, that just came to me like right now. But I think that's a really cool way to tie everything up, and it's just, I think fans would just eat it up.
Yeah, without a doubt. One thing that I really like about the synopsis is the fact that even though it is related to the Cuban Missile Crisis, like if you take the loose concept, you can pretty much apply it to the world we're living in currently. So like if Cameron Romero takes it back and goes and kind of like gives it another draft, he could connect it to the everyday world that we are familiar with, and have that sort of same political commentary that his father had with his movies. Just like an experimentation of trying to prevent a situation like a biochemical attack or something along those lines. Like we worry about this stuff, with what's happening with North Korea and everything else going on. So it'll kind of put us in that sort of too close to home vibe when we're watching this movie. So I mean, it'd be interesting.
Also, I'm kind of hoping for some original stars to pop up in cameos. Obviously, not as their original characters, but as new characters. I'd like to see Ken Foree and Galen Ross. Maybe one or two people from Day of the Dead just pop up in one-off shots. Just fan service. Fans like that shit. I like that shit. Just do it. Make me happy.
There's a couple people alive from the original Night of the Living Dead that would probably be awesome to appear.
Yeah, Kyra. What's her name? Kyra
Shawn.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say her name. Russ Streiner. He's still alive.
Oh, it was John Russo who died. John Russo died.
I don't know offhand. I have to double check.
Well, it was one of them. It was either John Russo or Russ Steiner. One of them died.
I know that Judith O'Dea is still alive.
Judith O'Dea, yep. Barbara, she's still alive.
Which makes me wonder why she doesn't do a lot of conventions. Like, I would love to meet her. John Russo's still alive.
So maybe it was Russ who died.
Gonna check that next. You know it'd be awesome, like, if Dwayne Jones was still alive.
Yes. Yes. But so that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to this. I think the idea, the movie's in good hands. Obviously, I have my ideas and my hopes. I don't expect them to make the film because they're just a fan's wet dream. But maybe, you never know. It could work. So we'll be getting more and more news over the coming months about this project. So keep an eye out.
Russ is also a member of the living.
Really? Who the fuck died? Somebody died a few years ago.
Good question. One we're probably not going to answer tonight.
Anyway, so moving on. And, God, you know what? I wish Tar was awake right now so I could ask him how to fucking pronounce his name.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure it out all afternoon.
Alright, so the filmmaker behind one of my favorite films, Troll Hunter, Andrei Orvdal. That's what I'm just going to say, Orvdal.
That's as close as you're going to get it, my friend.
I guess. I don't know. If you guys haven't seen Troll Hunter, go fucking see this movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I watched it on my flight to Vietnam. And just as a what the fuck? This movie looks sort of fun. It could keep me interested for 2 hours. God damn, I fell in love with the movie. I watched it 3 times on the flight.
I still have to watch it. We should make that one of the movies we do a live commentary for. This way, like, you could drag me into actually watching it.
Oh my god, it's so good. So good. Well, this guy is actually going to be adapting a
staple in every kid who loved horror.
Yes.
Growing up, these were like in your collection.
Yes. There was they were geared towards children. It was a book series called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And if you've ever seen one of the covers to any of the first 3 editions of this series, you'll instantly remember it. The covers were iconic, and then all of the art in the book were just all pure nightmare fuel. Plus, the stories were freaking creepy and crazy. There was even a couple of poems and some songs, and they're turning it into a movie, and the guy who did Troll Hunter, he's going to be taking the reins of this movie. Now, I mean, I have my concerns about this. I mean,
me too.
It seems like a very odd thing to turn into a movie.
Especially with the way they're approaching it, based on the synopsis. I really don't know if they're going to be doing it this way for sure, but the synopsis says the thriller follows a group of young teens who must solve the mystery surrounding sudden and macabre deaths in their town. Now, if you've ever read Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, it's an anthology book. It has multiple stories, it has poems, and just like you said earlier, nightmare fuel. To me, what they seem to be doing with this adaptation is trying to copy with what they did with the Goosebumps adaptation. And the Goosebumps, if you've ever seen that movie, it reminded me of Jumanji. That's the best way to put it. It doesn't replicate the R.L. Stine books at all.
Nope.
And it's, like any horror movie with Jack Black in it, just no.
Yeah.
I like him and all, but no.
I think if they were, in my opinion, I think it's a cool idea to bring to the big screen. But if you're gonna do it, just translate it as is. Make it an anthology movie make it a 90-minute movie and do 10-minute shorts, 10, 15-minute shorts. Get 5, 6, 7 shorts in there, and that's it, man. I think that's not something we get. That's not a movie we get anymore, or maybe possibly ever.
This has the potential to being that all the people that it's geared toward are us, the ones that grew up with these books, and the ones that happen to have those books passed down. But to me, if they did it the proper way and did an anthology, it could be the modern day creep show as far as I'm concerned, especially with an artist like, how do you say his name again?
Andre Orvidal.
Especially with somebody like a visionary behind the movie like that.
Yeah, they really should just do a straight translation. Don't try to connect anything. Don't try to make this bigger world with these awesome stories in it. Just make each little story its own little... Give it its own screen time. And then boom, end it. Go to the next one.
I think producers are a little bit afraid to touch on anthologies these days because so many really mediocre anthology movies have been put out straight to DVD and straight to on demand. That's the vibe probably is that nobody cares about these type of movies anymore. But to me, I think it's the fact that nobody cares about poorly done anthology movies anymore. Take what's that one series, VHS, for example. Those movies were extremely popular because the stories, they left a mark, and they had individual vibes to them, and they told a great story, a great horror story for once.
Oh yeah.
And I think if they're jumping off of scary stories to tell in the dark, which is famed amongst many people that have grown up in around those times, this is their ticket to bring back anthology to where it should be.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys aren't familiar with that, I'm sure not every kid grew up with them, but I know I did. I know, obviously Mungus over here did. You can find these stories on YouTube. There is an audio version of this book, and a lot of the stories have been uploaded from the original audio version. So go ahead, go check those out. As I said, a lot of them will show you the art that was in the book that accompanied these stories. And just imagine being a kid and looking at some of this art, and you'll understand why this was really special to kids like us who then grew up really appreciating horror. The
artwork is just tremendous. The artist that did it was by the name of Stephen Gamel. You could find these books still out right now, but they have different illustrations. So if you want to check out these books, and I highly recommend that you do, take a look online or go on eBay and pick up the original 3.
I think they're re-releasing the originals.
I heard something about that. I wasn't sure if they were 100% on that yet.
Yeah, no, I think they were releasing the originals because I think fans wanted them, and it was just the original art was just super detailed and crazy creepy.
Yeah, I remember being in the 4th or 5th grade, and just being at my Scholastic book sale and loving horror back then. Seeing some of those designs scared the shit out of me in the broad daylight of my elementary school. I'd buy a copy and then I'd go home and ask for more money so I could pick up the other 2. And then more of them came after the fact, but the original 3 were by far the best.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy that stuff like this was geared towards kids, but it's at the same time, it's like I'm so happy it was.
I agree. It's a different world we're living in now. Like I was just over at one of my good friend's house, and he's got a 4-year-old, and I was watching. They had children's programming on, and it is completely different than the stuff that we grew up on. And like he was telling me that he tried to get his daughter into watching Ghostbusters and the original Spider-Man, and she was a little too afraid. And like my first horror movie was at age 4 or 5, and I loved it from there. And these kids are like growing up to be like 8, 9, and still haven't been like, they haven't been shown this type of stuff. So it's very different times.
Yeah, I'm actually going to bring up on the stream for anyone who's just listening and not watching. I would say just bring up the screen right now. I'm just going to show you guys some of the images that we were seeing accompanying some of these stories when we were kids. Just give me one second.
They're completely legendary. Like I have, just talking about the books right now, I'm remembering like the one with the bleeding fingers, the thumb that was cut off. I'm remembering, like the knock on the door and everything, and just all these images that were associated with the stories.
Yeah.
And that weird time warp that you got going there, that's terrifying too.
Yes.
I think we like divided by 0 or got trapped in a black hole.
So all right, so this guy right here, this is from a story called The Red Spot. It's probably the one image that was burned into my mind the most.
Remember the story with the girl who stood on the grave? That was one of my all-time favorites, when there to stand on the grave and put a knife in the grave, and she died of fright or something along those lines. That image burned a hole in my mind.
Now, it was this one and a poem / song / Irish jig called Barum. I actually have.
I remember that one.
And I remember that one so vividly because one of the characters in the song was named O'Leary, and I lived across the street from a kid named O'Leary, and it just always stuck with me. But this image always just creeped me out. This was another amazingly funky image. I don't even know how you explain this. It's just, but I mean, this is the kind of stuff we were seeing. Just a fantastic piece of art right here. I mean, this is, I would take this and frame it and put it on my wall just because I think it's just so dark and macabre, morbid. That's what I was looking for, morbid.
Yeah, without a doubt. And then at the age that we were being, like introduced to this stuff, it fueled our imaginations. We thought we were like excited about horror movies. Now imagine the books, and getting these short stories that were very digestible, accompanied by this insane imagery.
Yeah, this right here, this was the cover of one of the books. And I remember looking at it, I'm like, dude, this is like a monster that belongs in a Doom game or something,
Yeah, seriously.
This was a cover to another one of the books. This one is probably one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. I mean, what even is that? It's a creepy, somewhat clown smoking a pipe. I don't even know.
Like born out of the ground, and honestly, like I actually have to look up what this guy has done since, because why are horror movies photoshopping posters when this guy is in existence?
Yeah, I want to know what this guy was on when he came up with some of this art. And this is one of the stories that's in one of the books. There's not even a story. It's just it's an Irish song. And I remember reading it, and it's just like, that's fucking weird. Like, how did that happen?
If you pick up these books, like, you'll understand where we're coming from as far as wanting to see this adapted properly and not turned into this like silly kids adventure where it's just completely unrelated to the books.
Yeah. So
I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll see where they take it, and I'll judge from there.
So, yeah, guys, definitely check those out. If you never checked them out when you were a kid, they will still creep you out, even as an adult. If you have kids yourself, yeah, go ahead. Introduce them to this stuff. As long as you think they can take it. Some of this stuff is creepy. Not going to lie. I mean, I just showed you guys some of that artwork. This is some nightmare fuel. Even today, I mean, looking at this artwork, this is still, like, some straight-up scary stuff.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Everything's broken and cracked and crinkled and wrinkled and old looking. It's just, it's horror, I believe, in its purest form, especially for a kid, man. It's just great fucking stuff. All right, so yeah, so we'll be getting apparently some version of these stories in movie form. How it's gonna come, we don't know. But I think the idea is in good hands. Hopefully, they let this guy do his thing.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that's all we could do at this point is hope.
So moving on. Earlier in the week, we got the announcement that Adam Green's latest entry into the Hatchet franchise, Hatchet 4, also known as Victor Crowley, is going to be released on DVD, Blu-ray, VOD on February 6th, 2018.
Finally. I've been waiting to actually get to see the movie, and I only have to wait a little longer to see it.
Yeah, it's order. You guys can go ahead and go and pre-order it on ariscope.com. I'm going to go ahead and just post that puppy up in the chat.
And when you order it from Ariscope's website, this is you're ordering it directly from Adam Green himself, and all of the Blu-rays and DVDs come autographed by him. And there's also one other little thing that he had mentioned earlier in the week on his Facebook Live video. If you're looking to buy Victor Crowley in the store, take caution because some of the stores are going to be carrying a censored version of it. He mentioned Walmart and Best Buy, which I get Walmart. Walmart's been trying to push that agenda for so long, but like Best Buy, like I bought my copy of a Serbian film at Best Buy. And if you know what a Serbian film is, if you have any idea, or just go Google it real quick. But like, if they could sell that fucking movie at Best Buy, why the hell can't they sell Victor Crowley? Like Hatchet 4 in its fully uncensored cut. So to guarantee that you get the actual full uncut version, we recommend buying it from Adam Green direct at ariscope.com. And I believe he said the Amazon pre-order is going to be the uncensored one as well. So, I mean, if that's where the route you want to go that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're a horror fan and you're buying a movie and you have a choice between an uncensored or a censored version, if you willingly pick the censored version, just leave.
Yeah, we're gonna confiscate your horror cards while ours are confiscated. We're gonna use them.
Yeah, just don't. Just don't.
I'm glad we're finally past that age where they make us double dip on movies. Like they put out the shitty censored version first, and then the unrated director's cut with 13 extra seconds of blood.
Yeah, who used to put out those bare bone DVDs back in the day? Was that Anchor Bay?
Anchor Bay did it sometimes. I think that was nearing the end of their reign on home media. But I remember Lionsgates were pretty bare bone. They'd like rush to get their film out completely as fast as possible, and then they would give us the full ones. But it seems like they do that more so now than ever because extra features cost the studio more money, and being that they're not even releasing these movies into theaters, why pay for any special bonus features? You know, so like even Adam said in that video that all the bonus features on this disc were completely done by the cast and crew as a labor of love, you know, while they were filming the movie. You know, nobody got paid for it. They just were making different things to go along with it.
Yeah, but that's anybody who enjoys what they're doing. They're going to do it, you know, just because.
Yeah, agreed. But, like, as if the film production wasn't, you know, a pain in the ass already, and all the headaches that come along with a lower budget type movie like that. Like, on top of that, they also have to, like, all right, guys, let's all chip in and make some bonus features. I mean, like you said, they love what they're doing, so they're going to do it. But it'd be nice if they had a little budget to do it, too.
Yeah, but you know that's when you don't got a big movie studio backing your project. It's you know, you got to make do with what you got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one day we're gonna have a resurgence. Hopefully, you know, now that has grossed as much as it did, maybe horror is going to be coming back in a big way. We could only hope.
Yeah, hopefully that really kicks off like a real like a big new wave of horror moving forward. But you know, only time will tell at this point. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how the new Halloween movie does. I know the new Saw movie didn't do extremely well. I think it like just recently hit 100 million.
Yeah. And Alien Covenant didn't do that well either. I'm seeing a trend of these movies that come back to try to make a reboot, remake type situation. Sometimes they'll even go the prequel route, and they're just not successful at all. Like I don't know how they could go about with these things anymore with the way they've been approaching them and how fans have been reacting to them.
You know, I know, I'm a bad fan right now. I haven't seen the new Alien movie. I did hear some good things about it, so I will be watching it at some point. And I actively decided not to see Jigsaw because I read pretty much everything that happened in the movie, and I was so horribly disappointed that I did not want to give that movie my money. Yes, I know.
I didn't go because of your idea. You gave me like your pitch on the way Jigsaw should have been, and I was like, I can't go watch this movie now because that's the movie that I want to watch.
You know what? Maybe that was another reason. Maybe I was mad. Like, why didn't they read my mind and do my movie?
Like your pitch was completely brilliant. Like, I'm not even jerking your chain here, but it was incredible. That's how you would reboot Saw in my eyes.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you about that in another episode. For now, you know, just take our word for it.
Yeah, pretty much. So I guess we'll see coming down the line. All right. Getting into this next, it's not really new.
I'm going to let you have the stage in this one and just sit back.
All right. Well, you guys got to bear with me for like 6 seconds while I run to the refrigerator. 2 beers was not enough for me, and I need a beer for this one.
He's going to need one, definitely.
Hang on.
We're like, at this point, I've decided I wanted to create a segment because there's an ongoing theme on our podcast every week where Matt Bates over here decides he's going to get high blood pressure. So what I'm calling this segment is the high blood pressure segment. Very loose terminology for now. But this is basically where he's going to have close to a heart attack over something that he might not be happy about. In normal cases, it usually has to do with Day of the Dead, but today is a different type of movie.
Okay. So yesterday I was just doing a bit of research on a upcoming editorial I'm working on for Dead Entertainment. It's also going to be a focal point of I'm hoping maybe next week's episode, if not the following week's episode of Way of Life Live.
I'm curious which editorial you're talking about.
Looking forward to horror in 2018.
Right. Okay.
So I was doing research, seeing, what we got to look forward to in 2018, and this movie showed up, which is weird because it's not a movie being released in 2018. It actually just did get released on Amazon Prime Video.
Which is not a bad way to showcase the movie.
No.
Especially for an indie person.
Yeah, exactly. And it's pretty close to 2018, so I'm like, okay. So I saw that it was on Amazon Prime Video, and I looked up the movie, and it had lots of, film festival appearances, and it had lots of award nominations, and it won a fantastic award for best special effects, I think, best makeup, something like that. But it was also nominated for like best picture, best actor, or sorry, I got the hiccups. Best like actress and best supporting actor. And I'm reading all this stuff about it, and it's got a pretty good score on IMDb. And I'm like, oh fuck, this is a pretty cool movie. I gotta watch this. I'm looking around on like Bloody Disgusting and Dread Central, and they had posted 1 or 2 articles about it, but nobody posted a review yet. And I think I know why they didn't post a review. So I'm like, dude, this is fucking cool. I can watch this movie. I can get the first review up for this movie before, the big horror sites get them up. So
that's a good thing to have for a site that just launched.
So I came home from work yesterday, got my dinner ready, sat down, threw on Amazon Prime, found the movie, popped it on. Well,
let me just ask you real quick. Don't you regret not taking my original advice to watch Ash vs. the Evil Dead on Netflix?
I was actually going to watch Raw on Netflix.
You should do that next. I'm looking forward to that one, but let's not get off track here. We're talking about this one.
Yes. So the name of this movie, I haven't really said it. It's called Buzzard Hollow Beef. All right. And the synopsis promises a psychopathic journey of a family on Thanksgiving, possibly poisoned by cannibalistic hillbillies. I'm not even fucking kidding. That is the synopsis of this movie. All right.
I read that yesterday, man, and I was like, I am on board. Where do I watch this?
Right? And it's like, oh, so this is like kind of like a Thanksgiving horror movie too, and cannibalistic hillbillies? Like, you can't fucking go wrong. That is
the last time we had like hippie hillbilly type things, with I Drink Your Blood. We loved it.
So that is a massive promise to make for horror fans. And when you make a promise like that, you need to fucking deliver. Well, all the promises this movie makes are lies. Blatant, horrid lies. All right? There are no cannibalistic hillbillies. All right? The movie is not psychedelic. It's no such a thing. This is far from a psychedelic thriller. It's not really bloody. It's not gory. It's got maybe one sort of bloody scene, and even that was meh at best. So the movie lied. All right, none of that stuff is happening in this movie.
You mean the filmmaker lied?
Do you think the movie lied? But that's not even the worst part. I mean, you're going to lie to a fan. Obviously you want to try to draw people in, so you're going to build that shit up. All right, fine. I'll fucking take that. I'll take that one on the chin. But this movie failed in every other aspect to where a movie that's lying to you off the bat should excel in. If you guys have ever seen... I posted up my review in the chat for anybody who hasn't read it yet. And it's a pretty heavy, in-depth review. And I go through a lot of the movie because I have to go through these scenes in this movie to really convey how bad this movie is. Now, let me go on by saying I support indie horror. Whether it's, a couple guys a couple friends with a camera making a movie, or maybe just a real low budget movie that gets maybe a limited theatrical release, sort of like Hatchet. I support indie horror. Indie horror is very special to the franchise, to the genre, and if I didn't support it, I wouldn't be a horror fan. So let me get that out there. I support indie horror. I don't support bad indie horror. All right? Bad movies are bad. I am not tiptoeing around this shit anymore. I am not trying to spare the feelings of filmmakers. Your movie is bad. All right? If my writing sucks, tell me my writing sucks. I'm going to ask you why you think it sucks. What can I do to make it better? It's called constructive criticism. All right? If you can't take it, get out of the fucking business. This movie sucks. Buzzard Hollow Beef is awful, and I want the filmmakers and the actors to know it. Now, I don't know if this movie was made this way on fucking purpose. Maybe they were trying to capitalize on, well, The Room was a really bad movie with awful acting and no script or story whatsoever. Let's capitalize on that and try to make that, but a horror movie version of that. I don't know if that's what they were doing, but if they were, it still didn't work. All right, it just didn't work.
Let me ask you a question about this movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm curious. Is it one of those type of movies that are bad on purpose? Like one of those like type of movies that tries to emulate what Grindhouse did and say something along the lines of, oh, like it's a Grindhouse style, man. It's supposed to be bad. That's why it's great.
No. Because the first thing I say in my review is that I like bad horror movies. All right. The kind of movie where a horror fan will come up to you and be like, and this is a direct quote from my review. Hold on, got a burp. The kind of movie where a horror fan will come up to you and be like, dude, this movie's so bad, you have to see it. Because it's so bad that it's actually good and enjoyable. Like, take Troll 2. How bad is that movie? But how much fun is that movie to watch? Movies like that. I have a couple other ones. I mean, I think Pieces is a piece of shit, but
hey, don't speak bad about Pieces. I'll get one of our buddies to come back and haunt your ass over it.
But this movie is bad, and it's just bad. It is not the kind of bad where you can go back on repeated viewings and have fun with it with friends. No, it's so painful to watch. All right, there's a scene in this movie. And there's many bad scenes in this movie, but there's one scene in particular in this movie, right, where the main character, her name is Jordan, she's sort of hallucinating, and she's out in the woods, and she's hallucinating that she's right in front of a deer, and I think she was petting the deer or something. And one of the other guys she was with is coming up behind her because he's looking for her. And, he sees her and he's making his way towards her. And all of a sudden she gets shot. Out of nowhere, fucking shot. She gets grazed in the arm by a bullet. And both her and him have no reaction to it. Like, the scene was, you just got shot. No, it's okay. It was a misunderstanding. Somebody just shot you. Like that's how they were acting in the scene. There was no panic, no terror, no like, oh my God, they're fucking hunting. Like nothing. No
sense of urgency, huh?
No emotion. And it's the whole movie was like that. The acting, no, they couldn't have hired that many people who were that bad at acting. It had to be on purpose, but it just didn't work.
Generally, you get that sort of vibe when you just gather a bunch of friends together to try to make it work. But there's got to be somebody. Like, I mean, if you have a group of filmmakers around, there's got to be somebody in that group that says, hey, you want to do another take of that? Because if I got shot personally, I'm screaming instead of something, that the actress or actor just gave off.
I,
It's peculiar that nobody stood up and said that. So,
you know, I almost want to play you guys a scene from this movie. I think legally I am allowed to play a small clip without the filmmakers causing a ruckus.
I know it's you're allowed to.
The clip is super small. Let me see if I can pull it up on my Prime real quick while I'm talking about this shit. The first 20 minutes into this movie, I really just wanted to like it. I'm like, all right, it's bad, but I think it's going to be okay. I really do. It's going to be all right. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And what really messed me up was the opening scene is kind of a cool little scene. And then the opening score for the title card is even better. It's a great score. It's a great opening score. Well, this shit went all downhill from there. Actually, I'm going to play the opening score. Sorry for the noise. That's just an ad. I'm going to play the opening score for you guys, just to show you that, like, the opening score is really cool. Oh, I can actually skip that. The opening scene was actually really cool, but it leads nowhere. You never revisit that scene. It looks like it's a scene towards the end of the movie, but it's not. It's just a random scene they threw in. It means nothing. You don't know who the character is. You don't know what happens. There's no context to it. You never revisit it. It's a pointless, useless, stupid fucking scene. But you don't know that from the beginning. You just think, oh, this is kind of a cool scene. But nothing comes of it. There's no payoff. Which is this entire movie's fucking, like, MO. There's no payoff. Alright, let's see here. And I think maybe if it had a payoff, the movie would have been better. Alright, here we go. So, this is the opening score to the movie. Now, tell me that's not a fucking awesome score.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Definitely sets the mood that you're about ready to watch something grisly and I don't know the type of movie that comes to mind is like almost Hunting Humans. Like it's got that like Hills Have Eyes type of vibe to it.
I was getting like a Cabin Fever vibe.
Right.
So, I mean, I heard this, and I was just like, especially after the opening scene, which was a very cliche horror trope scene. You can read about it in my review. But after seeing that scene and hearing the score, I was like, oh, all right, I'm in for something special here. I mean, you can't have a score this good and then have a movie this awful.
Even if it wasn't something special, it would be something acceptable. You know, at least the filmmakers are, you know, like smart enough to set that tone, and then to the movie, you would expect that at least.
Yeah. So, all right. I am going to play you two quick scenes from this movie just to show you how bad it is. All right. Didn't I mute this? Oh, I did. So just bear with me 1 second while I bring up these scenes. I mean, obviously, if you are curious about this movie and don't want to be spoiled in anything, I would say just kind of mute us for the next few minutes. But don't worry, I'm not ruining anything for you, alright? Alright, so hang on, let me bring up... Let me just bring this up real quick. Where's my OP? Oh, there it is. All right. Like, you have to see this to believe it.
Oh no. Gets me every time.
All right, here. So this was the scene I was just talking about the no urgency into getting shot. All right, this is scene 1. I'm going to show you one other scene after this. They're both very short scenes.
Jesus, they shot you, Jordan.
No, they weren't shooting at me. They were hunting deer.
What deer? They're hunting you, Jordan. They're hunting. Come on.
So,
is she high? Like, that's the only sense that I can make of it. Maybe she's really fucking stoned and just like, hey man, I think something hit me.
no, because there's actually a scene earlier in the movie where she was high and she does not act like that.
That's really bizarre. That, like, the other thing that came to mind is maybe it's like a foreign language movie where they don't, you know, there's something lost in translation. But it doesn't appear to be the case.
Yeah, no. It's just bad. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show you this other scene. It's a special scene. It really is.
I'm afraid.
It's one of the only like fight struggle scenes in the movie, and it's awful. Quick context. As you can see on screen, there's two guys right here. They're both friends. They're both really good friends. The one character standing up is the main character named Bob, and the other character is the other main character, the girl who was in the previous scene. Her name is Jordan. The guy sitting down, that's her brother Joel. But these two guys are really good friends. All right, so just watch.
I don't know, but I've been seeing some shit, man. It's not good. Tell me I'm fucking crazy.
No. You're not crazy. What's that? Oh, shit. He got you, man. Oh, shit. What the fuck? You killed my friend, motherfucker. Fuck.
Now imagine 75 minutes of that. All right, I can't show you guys anymore for fear of having these probably already pissed off filmmakers even more pissed off at me. But yeah.
Doesn't seem like very confident filmmaking. Like, I'm curious to see if this guy's a first-time director, for one. The editing, in my opinion, has a vibe of, like, you know, they're trying to emulate that jumpy, fast-paced Saw type of editing, but just are not comfortable enough to just let go and do it.
I don't understand that scene at all. The guy walked in, he basically stabbed his friend. He like walked into him with the knife and then yelled at the other guy that he killed his friend.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to see it in context of the movie, like, more so.
No, you don't need to. It's not going to help.
It didn't make much sense, honestly.
That's the whole movie. The whole movie it's just a big old pile of, what the fuck am I watching?
Well, having made a bad short film before, or a short film at least that I had to use whatever footage I had to kind of like put it together to tell some sort of narrative story that made sense. Sometimes in the editing booth, you're sitting there just kind of like, fuck, how do I make this work? And you do your best at it. And that might have been the case with this, you know, like where they meant to convey a certain situation and it just didn't work out the way they hoped.
I just don't know if this movie was made this way on purpose or what.
I think it would have had a more fun vibe if they did. Like both scenes that you showed tonight and the trailer, it kind of gives off that vibe that they were taking themselves extremely serious. So I don't think it's on purpose sort of situation.
Well, you want to know what? I believe that because I had made a comment on the trailer after seeing the movie on YouTube, and somebody responded to my comment saying that they were at like a showing of the movie in a theater with like the director and the actors, and they seemed like super proud and very passionate about the movie. And then I lost all hope and faith in humanity. But like, here we are. One thing that you got to keep in mind that like for any independent filmmaker, regardless of the quality of the movie, like you accomplish 75 minutes of like a complete movie on your own, under your own guidelines and your own, blood, sweat, and tears. It feels that sort of accomplishment. But after you make the movie, it's no longer your movie. It's for the fans to decide of how they perceive it. And unfortunately, in this one's case, it doesn't seem, at least in your eyes, I haven't seen it yet, but it doesn't seem good. Oh, you're going to be seeing it.
I plan to.
Yeah, no, you have to watch it. I don't recommend anybody watch this movie. It's not even one of those movies that I can say it's so bad you have to see it. This movie's so bad you don't want to see it. It's that bad. If those two scenes didn't fucking scare you for never wanting to see this movie, then you're a bigger horror fan than I am, because this movie is without a doubt the worst movie I have ever seen.
I'm really tempted to watch it just to see if I have the same opinion. And I've known you a long time, and I know that your opinion doesn't generally have a negative foot forward usually. You're usually very optimistic and willing to give a movie a shot.
I can find the good in almost any film, any bad film.
Exactly.
This one has no good.
This is one of the first times that I've ever seen you feel so strongly about a movie like this.
I maybe because I went into it thinking that it was going to be like a pretty good little indie film. But as I said in my review, the good thing about this movie, if there was anything good about it, is the fact, even though it does not feel like it feels like it's 3 times longer. The only good thing about this film is the fact that it's only 75 minutes. Now, you'll get through that 75 minutes and feel like you just spent 3 hours on the couch watching this shit. But the bad thing about this film, aside from everything, is that it is 75 minutes too fucking long. This is a movie that should have never been made. Now, I am going to say one nice thing about this movie, and I said this in my review as well. There is one thing this movie had going for it, but they just did not flesh out and realize. This movie actually has a very clever story. It has a cool, clever little twist and red herrings. They just forgot to write everything around it. It's like, so we have this story. They had a pitch. It's almost like they had not even a treatment. They had a pitch. So we're going to have this, and we're going to make it seem like this is the real issue going on, but it's not. It's really this. And they decided, this is a good pitch. Let's just go with this. And then they casted, got everyone together, got on set, and then realized that they never wrote a fucking script.
A lot in independent films, you generally come up with a very unique idea, and then it's like this weird working backwards effort of trying to write around that idea, and then the shoot comes creeping up, and before long you're just kind of winging it based off of pages of notes while you're trying to shoot it.
Yeah,
I've been there before, so.
I seriously cannot believe that there was a script for this movie that was approved by anybody who read it. And I figure that this movie was shot on the initial pitch and fucking notes made on cocktail napkins at a bar after 6 hours of drinking. That's what this movie is. All right, it's notes on a cocktail napkin. All right. Again, this shit is in my review, but there's actually a scene in this movie where the two guys we just saw in that last clip, Bob, the guy who stabbed the other dude, who was Joel, and they're both friends in the movie. And there's one fucking scene in this movie where apparently the filmmakers thought that this is actually a thing where two guys, two close friends, jerk off in front of each other in the same bed. They actually have a scene with this.
I thought you were using that analogy to describe something.
No, it's in the fucking movie.
Good lord.
This guy actually thinks that jerk-off buddies are a thing. That this is normal.
Wait, they're not?
There is nothing realistic about this movie. Now, I get it. It's a horror movie. Suspend disbelief. Yeah. All right. At the same time...
Jerk-off. What?
At the same time, there's nothing supernatural about this movie. So it's not really... You're not really supposed to suspend disbelief too much. But there is not anything about this movie that's realistic when it comes down to how these people eat, which is atrocious. Just fucking god-awful atrocious. The Thanksgiving dinner eating scene is the stuff of cartoons. It couldn't possibly... They could not have edited that scene and been like, yeah, this is how people eat. This is how people eat. I almost want to show that clip, but I don't want to push my luck right now.
Yeah, I think we're good where we are. Just to be on the safe side.
I mean, it's just... You know what? I'm not going to show the clip. I'm just going to play the noises, all right?
Oh my god. I'm imagining the scene in Gremlins where they get the plate of chicken.
Oh, dude. Dude.
Uh-oh. I don't like when you talk like that.
That's the scene.
That's horrible.
Dude, you just named the scene. That's it.
Oh boy.
I'm just gonna play the noise, the sound. All right, hang on. Picked up to where I left off. Like, we want to see that. All right, where is this awful scene? I know it's somewhere. But you really nailed it on that one.
That's the thing that came to mind immediately. I mean, it helps that I just saw Gremlins in the theater on Sunday, so.
You went to the theaters to see it?
Yeah, I went to Alamo Drafthouse.
I didn't know you went.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon with Rich.
Okay. I think I got it.
I'm unmuting my YouTube.
Okay. So, not playing the scene, but this is their eating scene for Thanksgiving. Just listen to these noises and tell me if this is how any human being eats. All right?
This is really a good non-traditional Thanksgiving dinner.
I don't know. It tastes a little gamey.
No, it's perfect.
Beer goes perfect with this beef. Amen. Thank you for that. Good job.
Hey, you okay?
I need to get some air.
Can I get you something?
Oh.
I'll be
Where are you
right back.
going?
Are you alright?
I don't feel
It almost sounds like a porno.
There's nobody on this planet who eats like that. And the entire scene is just them shoveling food into their mouths.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that in the trailer, and it felt like they were trying to emulate like that weird vibe that Jason Eisner has with it in Hobo with a Shotgun. You know, that really like I can't even describe it. Like, you just have to see the style. It's very up close, in your face, kind of quick edited, and I don't know. It's bizarre.
So basically, it's this movie was supposed to be good. Apparently, some people like it. I don't know what the fuck they're watching. Apparently, these are those those snobby people are like, oh, it's an indie movie. You don't get it. You don't understand what they were trying to do. I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to make a movie and they fucking failed, all right? The movie is bad. There's nothing redeeming about it. It's 75 minutes, too goddamn long. There's not one likable character. Even in the worst movies, there's one character you're like, I kind of like that character, you know? And no, you want them all to die. You just want them all to get run over by a tractor or something. Not that that happens in the movie, but it would have been cool if it did at least. To have a movie with not one character you can relate to, you can feel for, and there's a single mother who just had a kid. He's got a 9-month-old baby without a father, you know, and you don't even feel for her. You don't even feel bad. You want her to die. You want the little 9-month-old baby to live, but you want everybody else in that family to die. That's how painful this movie was for me to watch, where I could not root for anybody, even the villains. Most horror fans will always root for the villain. You hate these villains because you don't even know if they're really supposed to be the villains. You don't know what is going on this entire movie. Even when they try to explain what's going on, you still don't know what's going on. That's how poorly this movie was conveyed.
So what you're trying to tell us is that you highly recommend it.
Yeah, sure. Listen, I'm telling you guys, take my word for it. This movie is awful. It is going to be the worst movie you will ever see. Now, if you want to... Hang on 1 second.
Technical difficulties?
No, anyone who's watching can see that the wifey was just
Your lovely
leaving.
wife has arrived.
Yes. Well,
Or has gone.
yeah, she's leaving. She can't take no more of this. She's leaving.
She's like enough of this dirty shit.
Can't handle this shit. She's going. She's gone, bro.
I really don't blame her. I'm about to ready to get up and abandon this myself.
No, it's Wednesday night. She goes dancing on most Wednesday nights, so.
So do I.
So listen, guys, you can take my word for it, and I can tell you my word is pretty good.
What did you rate this on on your review on Dead Entertainment?
Now 1.0 out of 10.
And my brother thought that I was harsh, giving Better Watch Out a 7.5.
I could not, as a horror fan, give this a better score. There's no horror elements to it aside from the very first scene, which is a horror trope. All right, that's it. Sure, they have one scene that's an homage to Poltergeist. What else you got going for you?
That seems really weird in a movie about cannibal hillbillies. Like you would think that they would nod Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No,
that would be the obvious approach.
Well, first of all, cannibal hillbillies, that's a lie. Sorry, spoilers, it's a fucking lie. And there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre homage scene with like the not cannibalistic hillbillies family meeting, family gathering, talking about their way of life, and they've done what they had to do to survive, and now they got to go do it again.
Yeah, I think that's in the trailer too.
Yeah,
the trailer didn't do anything for me. It looked pretty crappy.
I watched. Yeah, I watched it, and I'm like, all right. Okay, so maybe they're not good at making trailers. I mean, making a good trailer is a fucking art. Obviously, no one at DC knows what making a good trailer. You know what goes into making a good trailer. They really need to get the guy who did like the Infinity War trailer for Marvel to make their shit. But yeah, I mean, making a trailer is not an easy thing to do,
especially with independent cinema.
Exactly,
you only have so much to work with.
Exactly. So I won't fault them for that. Making a trail that's an art in itself. All right. And as I said, if I give this movie any credit for anything, is that it did have a clever idea. It just didn't have, bear with me now, the director to pull it off, the writers to pull it off, the actors to pull it off, or anything that a movie needs to pull off a movie to pull it off. So,
well then.
So take that as you will. I do not recommend this movie, even as a bad movie. Don't watch it. If you watch it, well, I fucking warned you. You're in for 75 minutes of hell. Don't blame me. I told you not to fucking watch it. I even showed you a few clips as proof as to how bad this movie is, to the point where it's on The Room in terms of its fucking acting chops. So, you know what? This one's on you. You guys want to watch it? Go for it.
Well, before you do, you should definitely go check out his review on deadentertainment.com. Cheap plug.
Yeah, well, I posted it in before, and I go into a bit more depth on it, but I'm not tiptoeing around indie filmmakers anymore. I can't do it, dude. Listen, you obviously want to live your vision, and I commend that, I respect that, and I'll never take that away from you. What I will take away from you is the way in which you did it. You did it, dude. I give you all the props in the world. You just did it shit. All right? You just made a shit movie. You made a movie. Awesome. You made a bad movie. Fuck you. I'm not tiptoeing around it anymore, man. Again, I'm not a filmmaker. Maybe I couldn't even do as good a job as you did with this movie, but I didn't make the movie. You did. You're the one who failed, not me.
You sounded like Kim from Death Proof for a second there. Answer the question, motherfucker. Wait, what was the part where...
I'm trying to think of the scene right now.
It was a scene where it's like, but you're missing the point of the story. Your ass didn't fall in the pit.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Not trying to give a nigga a skin rash. Trying to put a motherfucker down.
God, she was so awesome in that movie.
You know what happens? The bitches with knives, they get shot.
So yeah, instead of going to watch whatever movie we were just talking about, Buzzard, Hillbillies, something, go watch Death Proof instead.
So yeah, so I'm ending this part of the show. Don't watch the movie. If you watch the movie, I fucking warned you, and you know what? You're never getting that 75 minutes of your life back. I know I'm not. Don't waste your 75 minutes of precious life on this garbage. All right? End of that. Read my review for a bit more in depth, but I'm done with this one.
Yeah. I think for this segment, we need to have you, we should take your blood pressure before you start ranting and then after, just to see how worked up you get.
I got a blood pressure machine downstairs. I'm not even kidding, for my parents.
I think we can work that in somehow.
See, I'm not your typical nerd neckbeard. I don't live in my parents' basement, all right? I live in my parents' attic.
My basement isn't a basement, man. It's a first floor.
Yeah, it technically is. And
Yeah.
just to put it into perspective, I do live in my parents' attic, which happens to be a full apartment, and it's only because my house burned down, all right? So don't go off and making fucking still live with parents jokes, all right? I have a house. It's just a little crispy right now.
It's a little charbroiled.
Yeah.
Hey, I was a victim in that too, my friend.
Well, yes, we lost our recording space, but you got a beautiful gaming table out of it.
All right, you know what? Like in hindsight, I think like my board game burning up did pay off with the gaming table. So I lost nothing.
I actually have a replacement game for you.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, Tom actually gave it to me.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I actually What?
I was gonna say that means like once we're back in business over at your place, we got to break that thing out finally.
Yeah, well, you know what I was thinking? Fucking I was thinking like maybe possibly bringing it to Monster Mania and just setting it up on the bed or something and trying it out.
We might have to put the beds together because that board itself like 30 feet wide.
Dude,
That's like the hugest board game I've ever seen in my life.
it's like 10 Monopoly boards like taped together.
And like 683 pieces with like a 45-page booklet for learning how to do it.
I want to do it. I want to get a little stand and set up the phone and live stream it as we're trying to figure out how to fucking play this game.
I want you to live stream us trying to figure out how to set it up in the room. Like, I don't think there's enough like floor space.
Yeah, seriously. The game we're talking about is a tabletop game called Last Friday. So yeah, maybe look.
I hear it's very good though.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe, hopefully.
There's another board game out, Mixtape Massacre. I want to check out. It seems a little more condensed.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, it looks good, and obviously the Mondo's The Thing board game just got released too, which I'm hoping to get my hands on.
Oh yeah, The Thing. That looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
All right, so we're gonna get into the last couple of topics here. They kind of tie into each other. We're gonna make these quick because I do have to use the little boys' room in a few minutes. But we are getting a new massive patch for Friday the 13th, the game. Lots of updates, lots of fixes, and some new content. What content? Well, we're not entirely sure, but with the Virtual Cabin 2.0 coming out in this new patch, they have released a couple of screenshots. In the basement of the Virtual Cabin was a display case of all the Jasons, all the Jason models. Well, that's back, but now we have two new display cases with sheets over them, indicating the two new Jason models we will be receiving very, very soon. Now, obviously, there are not many Jason models left. There is the Jason X model, the Uber Jason model from Jason X, the Freddy vs. Jason model, and technically the Roy Jason model from Part 5, which I don't know if we'll ever be getting.
What about the pre-Uber Jason model? Has that been released?
No. I said that. There's a Jason X model and then the Uber Jason model. So we're most likely getting Jason X. Well, we're getting obviously at least one Jason X model, and possibly the Freddy vs. Jason model.
Derek Mears model.
No, they do not have rights to that character.
That's a bummer.
So don't expect to see remake Jason anytime soon because they do not have those rights. Maybe they're working on it. I don't know. I mean, if Dead by Daylight can get rights to use Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, and Leatherface, I'm sure the guys at Gunn and Elphonic can persuade who is that, Platinum Dooms, to use that Jason model. So we'll see. So we got that to look forward to. We got two new Jason models coming. They showed them off in screen. They didn't show the Jason models off in screenshot. They just showed us that we were getting two new Jason models. There were talks of the new counselor. We don't know who it is yet. Lots of rumors are speculating that it's going to be the wheelchair character that we were promised in the stretch goals. We didn't reach those stretch goals, but that really doesn't mean anything. They've already given us a lot of the stuff that we didn't even reach yet. So we will be getting a wheelchair character of some type, who is an homage character of the Part 2, the movie Part 2 character. I forget his name. I just call him Machete Face.
Yeah, right. That's suitable.
We also got a couple screenshots. What looks like the Voorhees house from Jason Goes to Hell. So that could possibly be the next map, a Jason Goes to Hell map, which would be kind of cool. There's no cabins in Jason Goes to Hell. But there is... Well, I guess there is one cabin where the movie starts off. But obviously they'll just throw in cabins just for filler. So, we'll see what happens with that map. But there were some pictures that look like the Voorhees house.
You know, I wonder if we're going to reach a point where they decide to take it away from the lake. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Jason Takes Manhattan. You know, like imagine them to like reskin everything and make it look like Canada.
That was actually one of the stretch goals and one of the maps that we were promised.
Right on. I would look forward to that. I'd like to see a boat. You know, the boat situation. Something else. I mean, the Jason Goes to Hell stuff. That character traveled around, you know, quite a bit. So seeing different elements and testing your Friday the 13th game skills into different environments would be interesting, and probably bring back more players too.
Yeah. They also talked about a Jason X Grundle map. So I mean, you know, we'll see. Cool. They're fixing a couple things. What the fuck? I just had the patch notes up. Oh, there they are. They're fixing a couple of buggy and glitchy issues. They're adding a couple things and making a couple changes to maps. Specifically, like the Jarvis map. There's going to be more item spawns, especially in the Vacation House and Jarvis House. Pocket knives and med sprays will now spawn at random camps throughout the maps, so that's pretty cool. They're making a couple changes to one or two perks, nothing major, but still fixes. And just all around, just more... nothing balance-wise. They're not really doing anything with Jason, per se, or counselors to balance the game out. They're just fixing a lot of issues and glitches. Which I think will help the game, but not help the game that much.
I'm glad that they're trying. You know, they're listening to a lot of the fans' feedback, and you know, they're chugging along. You know, like it's not at the speed you know, a larger company would give us, but you know, we're still getting some output. You know, like we're getting new features, things to keep us held over while they work on bigger features, and you know, I got to give them credit where it's due, because the fact that we're getting a game, or we have a game that has so much love and attention to the series, you know, it's just tremendous.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll be probably posting updates on more of the patch notes as we get more. We haven't gotten all of them yet. We don't even have a patch release date yet, but it's going to be very, very, very soon. So you know, as I said, we are possibly getting a Jason Goes to Hell map, and that is going to lead us into the next topic for tonight. I'm actually going to let Ray just kind of plug some of the upcoming content on Dead Entertainment that has to do with this subject, while I be a bad host and go pee, because I had too many beers and I have to pee. So deal with it. So
you are a bad host.
I am a bad host. I'm admitting it. Normally, I can hold my bladder, but I had 2 bottles of water and 3 beers, and I gotta pee. So you guys are gonna deal with it. But we're gonna lead into the next topic while I'm gone, and he's just gonna be able to tell you what we're gonna be talking about for the next, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, and kind of lead into some upcoming content on deadentertainment.com. Some great content, some that's already up and some that's also upcoming, and it all has to do with Jason Goes to Hell. So go ahead and just start plugging that while I go tanks.
Right on. I guess I'll start with the relevant and such. We got Bates over here wrote a retrospective on Jason Goes to Hell and why he likes the film so much. Obviously, you can check that out on Dead Entertainment. He goes into many details, which we're going to touch upon when he returns. So, you know, just hang in there and you know, give it a shot. Go on the website and check the thing out. the thing that we posted today was Bates' interview with Adam Marcus, where they basically went into, into great detail the various aspects of why Jason Goes to Hell is a better film than many people make it out to be. This is the first part of a two-part interview that we did with Adam Marcus. Bates did the first part back in October for his gaming stream called Live Deliciously in Game, and we're reposting the transcript now. Tomorrow is my interview with Adam Marcus, where we touch on a little bit on Jason Goes to Hell, not a lot because it's already been touched upon. But we talk about that, how he wrote Texas Chainsaw 3D with his wife, and how that became. Also, we went into his new movie called Secret Santa, and he dives into quite a bit of detail about, where that idea started, how his production company got off the ground, and led right into the festival circuit creation of the movie and everything. So we're gonna have that on the website tomorrow to give a little bit of a preview of what to expect in 2018 from. And welcome back, I think.
Yes, I am back. Yeah, that was a wonderful. It's like you ever just go to the bathroom and you just like your faith in life has been renewed. That's how good of a pee it was.
Well then,
yeah.
Well, I mentioned the Jason Goes to Hell retrospective and how you were going to get in on that in a couple minutes. So
yes,
have at it.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm posting that up. This is a love letter I wrote to about Jason Goes to Hell. I wrote this a while back, and I tried pitching it to my buddy who writes for Bloody Disgusting. And it just he gets a lot of pitches from a lot of people, so I guess that he never really got around to reading it, or maybe he didn't really just like the idea, whatever it was. It never got posted on Bloody Disgusting. I was really hoping it would be, but it didn't. But now with Dead Entertainment, I get to post a lot of my stuff, my editorials, my pieces like this. And basically, I wrote this probably a good year ago, the bulk of it anyway. Just explaining why Jason Goes to Hell is actually a good movie. Now, a lot of fans of the Friday the 13th series and franchise do not like Jason Goes to Hell at all. It's actually, if you talk to 10 big Friday fans, I'm sure more than half of them will put Jason Goes to Hell at the bottom of their list as, if they're ranking the movies. And I sort of understand, but they're missing the point of the movie. People who know me and follow me on Twitter know that Jason Goes to Hell ranked at number 3 in the franchise for me. Friday the 13th.
That's ballsy.
Yeah, it is. Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, is number 1. Friday the 13th Part 3 is number 2. Jason Goes to Hell is number 3. Yes, I rank it above 1. Oh, I rank it above 2. I rank it above 6. And the article I posted really explains why I have such an affinity towards this movie. The movie did so many things different. It took so many chances. It created so many new things for fans to talk about. It did more for the franchise than the previous 5 movies combined. All right. Obviously, the very first Friday the 13th movie has one of the, if not the most iconic horror movie ending of all time. Part 2 tried to simulate that ending. Well, it just didn't work. It came off really silly. Part 3 had an ending that was going to sort of be similar, but they cut that ending out. That never happened. And then obviously we got part 4 where Jason finally dies, as I do air quotes there. And then 5, 6, 7, 8. We got the rest of the movies. But no movie after part 1 ever gave us an ending where we were like shocked and we were talking about it. Fans were talking about it, and it fucking, it created news.
But would you agree that part 5 did, though? I mean, maybe not positive news, but it certainly is still talked about all these years later.
Yeah, it pissed people off. So I guess
one in the series.
So I guess that is news. Yeah, I guess we can count that. But I'm talking about an ending that didn't piss people off. All right, obviously fans, everybody loved the part 1 ending, man. And to this day, it's still one of the best endings in horror movie history. Well, we didn't get another ending like that until Jason Goes to Hell. Marcus gave us that ending. Now, obviously, that ending didn't lead to anything until, like, 2003.
Yeah, that was a long time.
Yeah, so, we're talking 10 years, but it was still an ending that got fans fucking excited and crazy and talking, and it's just like, oh, wow, what the fuck just happened, We got that ending. What Jason Goes to Hell also gave us were fucking characters. We actually got characters again. Check this out. Name me one character from Jason Takes Manhattan. I can name one, and that's because he had a very famous death in the movie. I can only name one character.
I can't name them. I remember there being a guitar player in the bottom of the boat or something. Some chick, I guess.
Yeah, some chick. All right, we got a guitar player, some chick.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so the only character I can name is Julius.
To be fair, I really dislike that movie.
Okay. So, name me one character other than Tina from Part 7.
I can't.
All right.
Because they're all expendable, and even going further, Part 6, I can't name much. Part 5, I know a couple.
Well, from Part 6, I could at least name, obviously there's Tommy. Could you name anyone else besides Tommy?
No, probably not.
Okay, I could at least name Megan.
Okay.
Court. And yeah, that's it. Megan and Court. Part 5, I can name 2 characters aside from Tommy. How about you?
I know the guy that plays Suicide from Return of the Living Dead's in there, and there's the ambulance driver, Roy. And no, pretty much.
I can.
Isn't that girl with the weird dance in Part 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, that girl. I don't know her name.
Her name's Violet.
Violet. There you go.
Yeah, I can name Violet, and I can name Joey.
Honestly, like the later sequels, you just can't really name them at that point. You're just they're just like slicing fodder.
But Part 9's a little bit different for me. Part 9, I can name Steven. I can name Creighton Duke. I can name Jessica. I can name the character of Joey. There are characters in that movie I can actually remember and name because they're memorable characters. They actually have purpose and reason and strength behind them. Jason Goes to Hell was a special movie because it empowered multiple female characters. Now, obviously, each Friday the 13th movie has a final girl, and they live, obviously. Now, not all the final girls are very strong. but they do make it through. And all the previous movies only gave us one really strong female character. Fuck that. Every female character in Jason Goes to Hell put up a fucking fight. They were not. They were not fucking playing around. If they knew they were dying, they were going down with a goddamn fight. They were either toting a goddamn shotgun, a handgun, throwing spears, fucking. They were going down fighting. All right, every female character. Absolutely loved that aspect about the movie. Badass female characters from start to beginning. So goddamn good. And they all had great deaths. The male characters. Now, Friday the 13th isn't really known for good or memorable male characters. Again, this is all in my retrospective that I posted up in the chat. Obviously, we have Tommy Jarvis, a reoccurring character, memorable character, and obviously Part 4, Part 5, Part 6. Then you have, obviously, Shelley from Part 3, but he died, so he can't really be counted. I'm talking about characters who lived. Paul lived in Part 2, but, like, does anybody really care?
No, I mean, like, next to Ginny, who cares, really?
Reggie the Reckless, who somebody in chat brought up, somebody else I technically could have named in Part 5. Reggie did live in Part 5, and I guess he was a memorable character. He was a fun little character, a spunky little kid. But yeah, I mean, so what? Obviously, Tommy lived in Part 6 as well. In Part 7, I don't remember the guy's name in Part 7 who lived. I don't remember the guy's name in Part 8 who lived. I mean, who really fucking cares? I can't even name any other fucking male characters in the series, alright? You know, if it's fucking not Tommy, Shelley, or Jason, I really couldn't name another male character. Until fucking Part 9 came along. I could name Steven, who was the final guy who lived in the movie, played by John D. LeMay, who is fantastic to meet. I've met him once. I'd like to meet him a few more times. He is amazing, absolutely amazing. And if you're not familiar with John D. LeMay, he also starred in the Friday the 13th TV series. So that's kind of a cool connection. But he was a great character. He had so much feeling and likability about him. Like, you watch him and you like this dude. You rooted for him. You wanted that guy to live. All right? And then, obviously, you have someone who died but is probably the coolest character ever in the franchise in fucking Creighton Duke. I mean, name me a badder character than Creighton Duke. And you can't even say Jason, because I don't even believe that. You can't.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Creighton Duke is just a badass, he's just a bad motherfucker. And that's how Stephen Williams is in real life. He's just a bad motherfucker. And we would not have gotten such a fantastic and memorable character if not for this movie. This movie gives you so much more than what people take, like what people see for it on the surface. They see the very surface of the movie, and they don't really dissect it and look at the different layers that we got. And really, and that's when you can truly appreciate how special this movie was.
And it's all because of one thing, the mask, or lack thereof.
Yes, that is the reason why people hated Jason Goes to Hell. Well, Jason really wasn't in it. We didn't get the mask. You know, and that's true. We got about 12 to 15 minutes of actual Jason mask time. And I think at this point in the franchise, taking the mask away for the the main portion of the movie was necessary. We were just too focused on it, and we needed to just go back and just be scared of Jason without the mask again. This movie was a horror movie, a gore movie, a sort of a mystery movie, because there are a few points in the movie when you're not sure who is Jason. We got tons of new lore and mythos about the Jason character, about the Voorhees family. A lot of it is fucking batshit crazy, doesn't make sense. But I don't care because I love it. This movie it created so many talking points about the franchise. More talking points than Jason on a boat. More talking points than Jason fights Carrie.
Yeah, let's go with it.
You could sit down with any Friday fan, any hardcore Friday fan like myself, all right? You could sit down with them and, grab a couple beers, and you could be like, all right, let's talk about Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. And you could probably talk for a good hour, maybe 2 hours. You fucking sit down with that same fan and be like, all right, let's talk about Jason Goes to Hell. Well, you're going to have about a half a day's worth of shit to talk about, because that's how much shit is in this movie. Adam Marcus did not want to pull any punches with this movie and just wanted to go balls out crazy. And it shows in almost every scene in this movie.
No, it's insane to me. The fact that Jason Goes to Hell is Adam Marcus's first feature.
Yeah, when he was in his early 20s.
Yeah, I think 23. I want
to
say.
23.
Yeah, and the studio just let him go balls to the wall. Like in the modern day of cinema, like you hear somebody like the people that were in charge of the Lego movie being fired off of a Star Wars movie because they weren't taking it the way that they wanted it to go. Now back then, Jason was like one of the biggest horror franchises out there, and they just said, "Hey man, here's the reins. Do whatever you want," and they allowed him to do it. Sean Cunningham saw it and was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, Sean Cunningham, the original director of the first Friday the 13th movie, he was a producer on the movie, and he was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do this." Listen. I couldn't have asked for a more fun movie, and maybe it's gonna take another 5 years. Maybe it's gonna take 30 years, like fucking A New Beginning took, and 30 years like Halloween 3 took before fans realize, fuck, this is a good film.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I haven't seen Jason Goes to Hell in. I can't even tell you the last time I sat down and watched that movie, and it's always been one of those movies where I was like, okay, like I'd put it in, watch about 10-15 minutes of it, Jason explodes, spoiler alert, and I'm just like, okay, well, whatever, like I lose interest a little bit. And this isn't even a cheap plug. Reading your retrospective on the movie and painting the picture that you do, it makes me want to dig out my copy and just sit down and be like, okay, fuck the mask. Who cares about the mask? Let's really appreciate the movie for what it is. And on top of that, the recent revelation that Adam Marcus believes that Jason is a Deadite, a Deadite by canon. And if you're not familiar with what a Deadite is, it's the demon thing from Evil Dead. Now that that's out, I just want to fucking explore this movie like even more so. And I plan to. This article of his is really making me interested to give it a second look. Like for many years when I was a younger kid, I was always like, "Oh, Halloween 3 is terrible. It doesn't have Michael Myers in it." And over the years, I've grown to appreciate that movie because they did something different with it, which is not like take the same route over and over again. It stepped away and did something daring, and I feel the same way about Jason Goes to Hell. Just conceptually, it is a vastly different movie, and it broke ground that people didn't even know were there after the previous sequels.
Yeah, man, it took the franchise in a whole new direction. Obviously, it did not take, but it was a direction I was all for. And I appreciate the fact that we have this film. I appreciate the fact that we are getting a documentary on this film. And hopefully one day we will get the full unrated director's cut of this movie. There are scenes we are still missing. They are available. They just have never been released. So here's hoping that we do get the original version with all the scenes intact, and that way we can all enjoy the film the way it was meant to be enjoyed.
I gotta say, this documentary has potential to really open up that the vault of that movie, because when people see what went into making it and the thought process behind the director and the writer and everything like that, they're going to. I have a feeling that they're going to gain this new appreciation for it, and simply because of the fans' demands, we might actually get this director's cut that we've been clamoring for many years.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I am. I am in the front line for defenders of this movie. I'll defend this movie to fucking anybody, anywhere, anytime. I will put up an argument and fucking knock your shit in the dirt all day about this movie. So, getting this documentary is a Christmas present to myself and any other defender of Jason Goes to Hell. Having spoken with the director, Adam Marcus, multiple times, the dude is an amazing guy. I have been lobbying for Dave over at Monster Mania to get Adam at a convention for the past 2 or 3 years now. I am going to continue to lobby because at this point I need to meet the guy. I've had so many interactions with him, so many conversations with him, an awesome interview with him. That I feel like I need to meet him. I need to shake his hand. I need to give the dude a fucking hug. And I need to buy the dude a goddamn beer. The movie is awesome. It's just a great movie. It's a bad rap because people are hung up on one or two aspects about the movie, and they do not appreciate every other awesome thing about it. They completely overlook it because there's no fucking mask in the movie. Get over it, dude. Get over it. The movie is almost 25 years old. Revisit it and appreciate it at this point. All right? Read my fucking retrospect. If you're not a fan of the movie, reading my article, you might fucking change your mind. You might even go back, well, yeah, you know what? Let me go watch this movie again. Maybe I missed all this shit. And you might appreciate the movie. Maybe not to the point where I appreciate it, but you might find some new love for this movie.
Yeah, without a doubt. And while you're reading the retrospective, go check out his interview, because it's a perfect companion for the things that he wrote in the retrospective, like things that he's touched upon within that article. Adam talks about in depth, and just gives like some of the best answers, that makes you appreciate the what he was trying to do and what he accomplished even more.
Yeah, I mean, between my retrospect and then my interview, which I did a live read of during the October Friday the 13th stream. That has also been posted on the website. I just posted that in chat. So you can guys, if you're listening, if you're not in chat right now, to see the links, if you're listening after the fact, deadentertainment.com, you can see both my retrospect and my interview with Adam Marcus on the site. And I just hope you guys enjoy them, and just give the movie another chance. You don't have to come out loving it. Just do me that favor. Just give the movie one more chance after reading my article. If you don't like it at that point, you're never going to like it. But if you do kind of, feel a little stirring, maybe, in the gonads, you can thank me later. All right?
Yeah, I'm going to give it another shot myself, honestly. I'm looking forward to it. I penciled it in on one of the lists that we do a live commentary for, just so we could sit around and geek out about it, with my newfound appreciation with it and your, long-lasting love for it.
Yeah, definitely, man. All right, so we are definitely running late tonight. I'm
just gonna say that we had to cut like half the episode.
Yeah, we have so much shit we haven't even gotten to, and we're not going to. The one thing I just want to get into is, real quick, before we do our shout-outs and sign off, is some Star Wars Last Jedi hype. I'm super excited for the movie. I've managed to avoid spoilers. Somehow, I don't know fucking how, but I've managed to avoid spoilers, and Ray will tell you that I am all for reading spoilers.
I like want to choke him half the time because he'll be like, "Oh, I already read what the end credit scene is, and I know the ending. I pretty much know every detail and every single word of dialogue for the movie." And I'm just like, "How could you fucking enjoy a movie like that?" Drives me crazy.
Yeah. So I've actually done myself a favor, and I've avoided all spoilers. And
When are you going to see it?
I have tickets for tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
Oh, so that means I'm gonna have to avoid spoilers from you.
I never spoil anything for you. You know that.
Yeah, that's true. I have a couple free movie passes from the Sinopolis theater up here, so I'm thinking I might catch like an early showing or something like that on like Friday during the day or something. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, because we are definitely gonna have to talk about the movie next week.
Trust me, I already started working on the show notes for next week, and we're going to have some horror in there. We're going to have some Marvel in there, but it's going to be a very Star Wars dominated episode. So be prepared for that.
Yeah. So I just want to give quick like hype shout out for the movie. I'm very excited for it. I don't know anything that happens in the movie. I haven't spoiled anything for myself, which is rare. I spoil everything for myself because I'm just a fucking excited little bitch when it comes to movies. But
that you are.
I will hopefully be writing a review when I get home. Even though our webmaster is not too keen on posting up sci-fi stuff.
I'm gonna throw this out there. Our writer LB is working on a Star Wars / horror editorial of some sort, or an article. So I might be able to persuade our webmaster to throw up that review.
But he doesn't realize that most horror fans, that also ties into sci-fi, and you don't get any bigger than Star Trek and Star Wars when it comes to sci-fi.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be something that all of us are going to be clamoring about and talking about. Even if we're horror buffs and such, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be all rambling, incoherently about Star Wars. So
yeah, and I mean, any early fans of DenEntertainment.com are not going to go to the site and be like, "Oh my God, a Star Wars article! I'm never coming to this site again." That's not going to fucking detract them from ever coming back because there's a Star Wars article up.
Really, how dare they?
How dare they post a review for the biggest movie of the year?
One of which that person probably also saw and loved too. So I mean, all horror fans and geeks go hand in hand. So a little sci-fi goes a long way. Maybe a superhero piece here and there. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's too big of a movie, and I'm too big of a fan not to want to get my shit up there. So hopefully tomorrow night when I come home, I won't be like crazy tired. I'll just jump on my computer and write up a review and get it posted up that night, possibly. No promises there. If not, it'll be up Friday morning, I would assume.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be seeing it probably some point this weekend. I really want to see it in IMAX personally. But free is a good price, so I'll go see it in the little shitty theater that's down the road from me.
Yeah, you can't you can't argue with that shit. Free is good.
I love free.
So I think that is going to do it for tonight. This is probably our longest episode to date. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get it done to that hour.
Yeah, no, it's never gonna. I would be happy with an hour and a half, but that means we have to just have like 4 pieces of 4 topics to go over.
But even then, man, I love that loose feeling that we have when it comes to this. Most of this stuff went long today, but I still enjoy the fact that we just fleshed out whatever we wanted to talk about, and I'm sure that whoever's listening enjoys the non-restrictive vibe that we got going for us.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can't complain. There's no dead air, so.
Yeah, in the beginning, we were we were talking before we even started this. We were like, maybe we should play music in the background because periods of dead air, it'll cover it up. But we don't shut the fuck up, as you can see.
Yeah, there's no dead air. No dead air. Don't dead end. Don't dead end. Don't dead end.
Please don't dead end.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping up here. I'm gonna get out my usual shout outs to all my favorite peeps. Obviously, Fright Rags. Always shout out Fright Rags. We do have a giveaway going on deadentertainment.com rather, for I believe it's a winner's choice Fright Rags shirt, right?
Yes, sir.
So, yes, if you are a fan of Fright Rags, go check that out. If you're not a fan of Fright Rags, because you don't even know what Fright Rags is,
go check it out.
Yeah, well, first, fuck you for not knowing who Fright Rags are. And then please go to deadentertainment.com and find the giveaway so you could possibly win a winner's choice Fright Rags shirt. You'll thank us.
You can hit up that's the Facebook giveaway. So go to I don't even know. Go to the website. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, there's stuff there for you to clicky on, and
I really should get these social medias for Dead Entertainment written down on my show notes.
Yeah, well, I posted it on the chat in the beginning, and it's in the description for the video. And you people out there can do a Google and do the internet and find deadentertainment.com. It's not hard.
Plus, that website has a very cool search feature. You could refine searches and within searches. Just go to our website, type Facebook in. It's right there. And when you get to the Facebook page, all these contests are pinned to the top. Same with the Twitter. The Twitter has the post pinned to the top. Twitter giveaway is Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition for PlayStation 4 or Xbox. I keep wanting to say 360. That's how old I am.
Yes. So there are two current giveaways going on. Obviously, my November giveaway has ended. The winner was picked last night. The winner has contacted me. I have not shipped it out yet. I thought I had a extra small priority box at work, but I didn't. So I have my mail guys getting me one for Friday because I'm not going to be at my office tomorrow. So I will hopefully get that shipped out to the winner on Friday. So, so obviously, Fright Rags, you don't know who Fright Rags is, go fucking find them. Real easy, just Google Fright Rags, you'll find them. Alright? I don't have to give you a website. Fright Rags. That's it. Then I'm going to
buy some shit while you're there, man. They have so much cool stuff. My entire closet is Fright Rags, and I'm not even exaggerating.
No, he's really not. He's not. I still have one of their original shirts from years and years and years ago. It's a children shouldn't play with dead things shirt. It's pretty beat up and a little ripped and got some holes in it, but I still wear it from time to time.
That's character, my friend.
Yeah. Then obviously, I'll give all my normal shout outs to all my buddies on Twitter and shit. My buddy Tardulv on Twitch, just TARDULV. He is a horror streamer on Twitch. He is from Sweden. I'm actually going to be doing a live stream with him sometime after the new year, and we're just gonna it's just gonna be a horror chat. So I will keep everybody updated on when that's gonna happen. And then all my Twitter shout outs, my usual ones, at Kim Fall, KIMFAUL, at Horror Movie BBQ, at Max Fishers, that's FISCHERS, Max Fishers, at Jonathan Barkin, at Freddy in Space, and at Mad Eye Yokai. These are all people in the horror community. Some are writers, some are just bloggers, some are just fans. All good people. They will all give your Twitter feeds lots and lots of love and updates and great posts. So follow them. Tell them I sent you. That's not going to do anything, but I don't know. Just getting my name out there. Promoting, marketing, yay. So,
how does that work?
So yeah, so you know, all good people. You guys will like them. If you don't follow them, please follow them. And yes, I think that's gonna do it for me. What do you got this week?
You stole one of them. So yeah, go check out those contests, man. Win this shit. We're giving you stuff for free, like some expensive stuff too. So check those things out. I wanted to give a shout out to Adam Marcus because he has went up and above for us in doing this. You know, like our website just launched December 1st, and the fact that he's been working with us to try to accommodate with this new interview that I did with him, and just try to set up different things that we could use as a promotional tool and a way to share our love, you know, for the film that he made. So he's been absolutely like tremendous when it comes to all this stuff. So go follow him on Twitter. His Twitter handle is @AdamMarcus13. And tell him that we sent you from Dead Entertainment. I wanted to give a shout out to my co-writers on Dead Entertainment, LB, who's been writing some like ridiculous articles, and like I've got access to the dashboard on the behind the scenes of the site. He's got so many things, just like so many plates spinning, and like go to the website, look up his name. He has some very, very good shit. Brandon, who also writes on the site, he's working on a Krampus piece for Friday, which is going to be part of the Slash the Halls event that we're doing. It's daily content, which that should follow, or following the Krampus article, is our live Krampus commentary on Saturday. I think we're aiming for like 8 o'clock to start. So get a copy of Krampus, buy it on demand, grab the Blu-ray, and join us while we sit there and do what we do every week while we watch it. And I guess I could like shout out my brother who created Dead Entertainment from the ground up, from the name to the website. He's done a pretty tremendous job. So I just wanted to shout out my brother Chris. And oh yeah, the people that come here and listen to us every week. Like seriously, you guys are fucking awesome. And that does it for me.
Cool. I also just want to give a quick shout out because we always talk about them. It's just Monster Mania. It's one of the best horror conventions out there. You guys are on the East Coast, anywhere in the New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Maryland area, Delaware area, fucking look up Monster Mania. If you guys can get out there, fucking do it. You won't regret it. Make sure if you do go out there to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to meet you guys, show you around, hang out with you, drink. We're fucking friendly people. We don't bite or stab much. I
have been known to stab. Ask Anthony.
We do get a little stabby. Not too much though. But yeah, I mean, we like to market and promote and support Monster Mania. We've been fans for so long, going there for so long. It's a second home for us as horror fans in this area. So we gotta give them their dues, and we'll obviously we're gonna probably shout those guys out every week. So Dave over at Monster Mania, the guy who created, who runs it, books all the guests, does all the hard work. He fucking
and his kids too. His kids did put in a lot of work as well for it.
They do, man. They're very, very reasonable. It's very well run. They don't bust your balls about a whole lot. It's just, you're in the Tri-State area, just look them up. You'll thank us. And I think that's that's about it.
Going for another hour if you want.
Yeah, we probably could, but I don't think we're going to. So again, guys, thank you everybody who tuned in live tonight. Thank you anybody who is re-listening to this, all 2 hour plus of this. You guys are awesome. We appreciate it so much. We will see you again next week. And guys, remember.
What do you think this is all about? You think this is a fucking costume? This is a way of life.